Okay, welcome back. This is lesson 3 in the tutorial series on Tinkercad. So far, we've done a little bit of stuff. We've looked at the work planes. We've grouped some shapes. We've created shapes. We've moved things around. Today, we're going to have a look at putting shapes together and making a whole. We're going to use the align tool and grouping and ungrouping again, like we did before. All important things to do if you are making a whole and putting things together. So, without me talking too much, let's get into the do, and I'm going to put myself to the background. So once again, back in Tinkercad, you may still be open. I'm just going to go straight back into the testing the waters. You can create a new one should you wish. I don't see the need to. But before we go on, there's something you should see on these. If you're a teacher and you have a child that deletes their work and they shut their work down, I'll bring myself forward again. If they shut their work down, and this has happened many times for me as well, they shut their work down and you see them crying at the end of the lesson. What's on? What's going on? They haven't said a word. They've just closed down. And you then find out through investigation or through the fact that they tell you after they've done it, they've deleted or wiped all their work before they shut their laptop down, which removes the option to hit the undo button. If they do that, they've shut down and they can't hit the undo button because they've closed Tinkercad down, there is a saving button, just like in Google. There's a version history. So I'll put myself to the background again, and up here on the gear, you'll see this one which goes through, says properties, duplicate, add to class activity, blah, 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 version history. If you click on version history, it says today 65 versions. You can click the drop down and it'll give you all the versions that there is. And then you can just go click. Is that what it looks like? And you go, oh no, that's where they deleted it. And then you go back a step and you go, oh yeah, here's all the work. You can keep clicking back to all the different versions of it. And you can see it's fairly extensive, all the changes. You can then find the one you want and hit restore to bring their work back, and then hopefully save them a little bit. You might then jump in and be able to help them with fixing whatever they mucked up in the first place. So version history, very, very helpful if you're a teacher for your students who delete things. Let's click tinker this and get in there. All right, so today's lesson we're looking at making a whole. Now I'm going to zoom back in and bring everything to the middle. Going to hit the home key. There we go. Centers everything for me. Now, earlier on, I talked about this button here, which says fits all in view, which it does. However, if I select one of these shapes and then press that button again, it fits the selected item in view. If I select this one over here, which I can't do because it's off screen, drag it, there we go, and I hit that one again, there we go. So that is also shortcutted by the F key. Pressing the F key does the same thing. You'll see there it says fit view to selected, press F. So there we go. If you want to zoom backwards and forwards to things, that's what we need to do. All right, so our task today is grouping and aligning and making a whole. Now, if you're like me, I got there and went, all right, this shape is a whole. I'm going to press H, the shortcut, and I'm going to push it in here. I'm going to go, right, it's not a whole. What's going on there? I looked at it and just went, well, it doesn't work at all. That is not a whole. So I dragged it back out, I resized it, I pushed it all the way through. You can see it comes out the back now. It's definitely, but I can't see through it. All right. Now the thing with holes is they don't become holes until you group the objects you want to turn into a whole. In this case, I've just got 2. And now I hit group, and voila, it becomes a whole. All right, so if you've been battling with, I can't do this, it's a stupid thing, it says it's a hole, it's not a hole, I can't see through it, they don't become holes until you group them with the shape that you're trying to make a hole in. Now, if I had more than one shape here, sort of I could drag this out and drag another shape in. I'm going to ungroup this one. All right. and I'm going to put this shape, trying to get to the box, there it is. So I can push this here like so. I've just pushed it in the back. Here we go. We'll use the align tool in a minute to do this. Now if I push my shape through, like so, you can see that if I group only this shape and this shape, it won't make a hole in this shape. So to do that, I'm just going to click on this one, and I'm going to hold shift down and click on this one, and I haven't selected this one. So I hit group, and you'll see that I've got a hole in the front which stops at the box because I didn't select this shape. So this shape remains solid and hasn't been joined in the group. All right, so I can then just ungroup this again, like so, and I could select all of them and go group, and that will effectively delete my box. Well, the parts of the box it was touching, like so, as you can see. So I'm going to hit the undo button and drag them apart like so. So I've got these shapes, and they're all now nice and separate, but I want to align them, and that was the other thing we're going to look at today, grouping and aligning. So remember, we can resize these at any stage and make our shapes smaller, bigger. If we don't want it to go all the way through, we just don't push that shape all the way through. We can do it however we want. So I'm just dragging it around. I can lift it up and make it like so, and a limit, well, a distance off the work plane. I could push it through there, but I want to make sure it's dead center. So I'm going to go left click and drag and just select these two. And up the top here, you'll see the align tool, which is L, and I'm going to click align. And you get these dots. Now, if I don't do anything here and I just click, the shapes will sort of all move together. All right. But if I go like this and then go like middle, you can see that it's moving everything, and it's now aligned it to the middle on this plane or this axis and the middle on this axis. And if I go to here, this is your height. So length, width, height here. And I can go middle, I can go bottom, I can go top. But everything's moving. And if I want this to not move and only this one to move, I hold shift and I go left click on this shape. Now you'll see the dot matrix has changed, and you can see I can go to here, to here, to here, but the only shape moving is now this one, because when I held shift and left clicked, it locked this shape to the work plane. All right, so I can move to the top, to the bottom, to the middle, like so, and then once I've done that, I can group them like so, and now I've got a hole that's exactly in the middle of my shape. Handy if I'm making a keyway or something like that. And then I want to align this shape with it as well for the sake of it. So I'm going to go left click and drag and select these two shapes. I'm going to hit the align key again. Now, once again, if I want everything to move, I just leave it as it is and just start clicking the dots. But you can see it gives me a little bit of an image of what that's going to look like if I just click things. All right, you can see it shows me what that'll look like if I was to press that alignment button. But I want everything to come to the box this time. So I'm going to hold shift, left click, and now all my alignment tools are on the box. So I'm going to go middle. I can still see the dots, middle, and then top. But as you can see, my box has disappeared within the shape. So there it is. I've sort of got it so I can see it now. And I'm going to then, with everything still selected, if I do happen to muck up and deselect, I can just left click and drag and then hit group. And it is amazing. All right, now I've got this shape. Now we talked about bundle grouping earlier on. Bundle grouping is important when we're making holes for this reason. I'm going to drag a cylinder out. I'm going to resize it to be, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll make it 40 high and I'll leave it at 20 by 20. I'm going to make it as round as I can. So drag my steps to the maximum and my segments to the maximum. I'm also going to drag out another cylinder, a hole, and I'm going to make this one smaller than that one. So it's still going to be, we'll make this 42, so it's taller, and you'll see why in a second. I'm going to change this to be smaller than that, so this one's 20 by 20, so we'll make this one, let's go 16 by 16. Making sure we change both length and width, or it won't be a circle anymore. Now, I'm going to align these two, select and align. I'm not going to click and drag, I'm just going to middle, middle. Now you can see that that hole is in the center of my cylinder. Now if I group these as they are, that hole will become a hole. Watch. So I've clicked it, and I've now got a hole that goes all the way through my cylinder. So now I'm going to undo that step. But if I select both those shapes again, and I go bundle group, it puts the two objects together, but it doesn't create the hole as in a union group. So if I go bundle group, they'll go green like they have, and I deselect, and I can now move them. But you can see I've just got the two shapes. I've got the hole and the solid, and it hasn't performed that last step where it actually cuts the center out. Now, because they are now bundled, I can't union group them to make this a hole. See, that's the trick. So if I want to do stuff later on, which we will in one of our projects, this is important. I can move them as one, but to turn this inner hole to a hole, I need to select them, ungroup them, select them, and then union group them. And then that will do the hole. All right, so bundle group just joins the two shapes together, but doesn't lock them like so. Like it doesn't perform that cutting which the hole will do. Just means you could put it here if you wanted. I'm going to drag everything over, do this, and I'm going to hit the F key, put it in the center. Now I'm going to put my chimney here in my funny looking thing. I'm going to align it like so. There it is, it's in the middle. I'm going to leave it as it is, it's fine. But now, if I group them and do a union group, this won't become a hole because these two are still bundle grouped. All it does is get rid of it. All right, so we need to undo that last step. Here we go. And you can see that this is still bundle grouped because it's green, tells me it's bundled. Ungroup it so I can see it. And now select and drag and union group, and you will end up with your hole. It goes all the way through. All right, so that is using the bundle group, the union group, the alignment, the ungroup, and making holes. There's a lot in that, but that is how you make holes using your bundle group, union group, and ungroup. That said, intersect group. There we go. So that said, we are using all you can see here, it's pushed it through the work plane. So to fix that, while it's selected, hit the key D, and it's back where it should be. All right, that said, that's holes, aligning, and everything else. So that's lesson 3 on making a hole, grouping, and aligning. I hope that was helpful for you. We are now moving into the next lesson will be work planes using the cruise tool. And once we've done those things, we're about ready to start building some projects and getting busy with it. So I hope these have been helpful for you, about 15 minutes at a session, but giving you all the basics you need so that when you actually start building, you'll know what we're talking about when I say let's align these, let's bundle these, let's group bundle these, let's yada yada yada, group join them. So let's go. Lesson 4 coming up.